If you're an entrepreneur, you know this feeling. You've got the idea, you've got the drive, the grit, but man, securing the funding, that can feel like a whole separate full-time job. Today, we're diving into how new tools like AI and automation are trying to completely change that game. Let's break down how you can hack the hustle.
So let's just be real for a second. For the millions of you out there trying to find grants or loans for your small business, what does that search actually feel like? It's a pretty universal struggle, and honestly, the feeling is usually just overwhelming frustration.
And hey, that's not just you. As United Capital Source perfectly puts it, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. You spend countless hours searching, writing application after application, and a lot of the time you just get a no without any real feedback. But what if you had a guide through that maze? What if you had a giant magnet for that needle?
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the sheer size of this funding maze. Then we'll get into the story of a company born from a similar frustration. We'll look at their AI grant assistant, hear what actual users are saying, the good and the bad, and finally peek into the future with something they're calling an AI co-founder.
Okay, let's kick things off with just the scale of this whole challenge. We're not talking about some small niche here. We are talking about the very backbone of the U.S. economy. Get this, there are over 33 million small businesses in the United States. That is a staggering number of entrepreneurs, innovators, and dreamers. And you can bet a huge chunk of them are out there right now looking for capital to get started or to grow. This is the massive landscape of need that a platform like Skip was built for.
So, how does a platform like this even come into existence? Well, like a lot of great ideas, it started with a completely different problem. For the company Skip, its whole mission to cut through bureaucracy began, believe it or not, with a trip to the DMV.
This timeline just lays out the evolution perfectly. It all starts back in 2016 with the founder, Ryder Pierce, stuck in months of DMV headaches. A year later, he launches Skip to help other people navigate that kind of red tape. Then comes the big pivot. In 2020, seeing how much small businesses were struggling during the pandemic, the company shifts its entire focus to funding. And that leads them right to where they are today, a huge AI-powered funding marketplace.
All right, now for the main event. How does this tech actually help you land a grant? This is where the platform's AI and automation tools really shine, because they're designed to attack the most tedious, time-consuming parts of hunting for funding. So the heart of the operation is this tool right here, skipai.com. Now, this isn't just a spell checker. Think of it as an advanced writing assistant. You put in the raw info about your business, and it polishes it. It helps you turn, say, "we sell coffee," into something more like, "we provide a premium, ethically sourced coffee experience that fosters community connection." It's all about making your application sound more professional, more engaging, and really just more likely to get a yes.
And the workflow itself is designed to be super efficient. You do what you're best at, talking about your business, your passion, your vision. Then, the AI handles the wordsmithing, turning your core ideas into a compelling story in literally seconds. The whole point is to level the playing field so every entrepreneur can put their best foot forward.
And it's not a one-trick pony. The platform bundles in a bunch of other really useful tools. It can sort all the opportunities by deadline so you never miss one. It can help you generate a business plan. It even tailors funding matches directly to you, so you're not wasting time sifting through grants you don't even qualify for. It's all about streamlining that needle in a haystack search.
Of course, the promise of new tech is one thing, but what's the real-world experience like? What are people who've actually used it saying? We dug through reviews and forums to get a really balanced picture of the pros and the cons. And this slide really lays out the classic trade-off, doesn't it? On one hand, users are loving the streamlined access and the easy-to-use tools. But on the other hand, the best features are behind a paywall, and some of the admin stuff, like canceling your account, can be a little clunky. It's that classic freemium model dilemma.
And you definitely see that positive side reflected in the reviews. Skip has a 4.6-star rating on Trustpilot, which is really high. This review from Omni Coffee Studio calls it a true gem, and you can see they feel it's helped them elevate their business. That's the voice of a happy customer who really found value here.
But you've also got a healthy dose of skepticism out there. This Reddit user voices a really common concern, the old bait and switch. They're worried the platform uses the promise of grants to ultimately push high-interest loans where the company gets a kickback. It's a critical and, honestly, a fair question to ask about the business model.
And yet, in that very same Reddit thread, you find this. A user pops in to say, "I'm a success story. I was one of the instant grant winners."
This is so important because it shows that while skepticism is healthy, real people are absolutely getting funded through the platform. The wins are happening.
So where's all this heading? Well, the company's latest move suggests they're thinking way, way beyond just grant applications. They're trying to position their tech not just as an assistant, but as a genuine business partner.
And this is it, the Skip co-founder. The vision here is huge. We're talking 24/7 on-demand support for pretty much everything. Operations, growth strategy, you name it. It promises personalized insights and smart document creation, with all that grant expertise built right in. The ambition is pretty clear, to create an all-in-one AI partner for the solo entrepreneur.
So when you just zoom out and look at the whole journey, it's pretty incredible. It started with a simple, super relatable frustration, waiting in line at the DMV, and evolved into this complex, tech-driven solution for one of the biggest headaches entrepreneurs face. The one constant theme has always been using technology to make frustrating things, well, less frustrating.
And this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As AI gets more and more powerful, are tools like this going to become essential? Could an AI co-founder be the key that unlocks the potential for millions more entrepreneurs to succeed? It's definitely something to think about as this technology continues to race forward.